It's time for today's qualifying session to begin here in the United States. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas. Austin's a relatively new circuit on the Formula One calendar, and with so few winners, no one has yet been able to stamp their authority on this track. There isn't any one driver that you can guarantee will dominate here.
This year there are so many drivers who could get onto pole position by the end of today's qualifying session. It could be a 4- or 5-way battle. Either way, it's going to be an exciting few minutes.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 16 now of Button Bounces back at F1 2015 career mode that we've been doing with Jenson Button and McLaren. And today we're heading from the amazing result in Russia. If you've not seen that episode, go back and watch that first, all the way to the USA. Before we go any further, if you are still enjoying the series and you do enjoy this video, it'd be awesome if you throw a big thumbs up on the video to show your appreciation, and also subscribe to the channel if you are not already. But before we go any further as well, this race is one of the most eventful races that I have ever done. It's definitely the most incident-packed one of the series so far, in my opinion. And you'll see later on in the race. But it's a track, USA, that I don't know particularly well. But as I found out very quickly in the practice session before qualifying, we had some good pace around here. We had some really, really good pace. Despite the fact there's just one real stretch of straight on the track, we seem to be able to match the sort of top 5 almost, I'd say, pace of the computer. But after that result in Russia, of course, I wanted to try and build on it. Like I said, if you've not seen it, you must go and watch that episode. I'll say it now, because everyone that's still watching should have seen that result. We did, of course, win in that race. It pushed us all the way up to 6th place in the drivers. And I just wanted to make sure, because including this race, we've only got 4 races left now with Button Bounces back. I just wanted to make sure we could hold on to that top 6 position that we've got now in the Drivers' Championship. Hopefully we will be able to do so. But we're just 4 races left, like I said, we're nearly at the end of this series. After this, I spoke about it a little bit in the update video that I did. We will be doing a F1 career mode with Daniel Ricciardo, so F1 will be remaining on the channel, but we've still yet, of course, to finish this off. We're nowhere near done here. There's still a lot to be racing for. As you can see, though, we're currently sitting in 8th place, coming towards the sort of last couple of corners on the lap. And like I mentioned, we had good pace. I mean, 8th isn't an outstanding qualifying. That is where we finish. But the biggest shock of qualification, really, is Lewis Hamilton, who comes all the way down in 6th place, which is by far his worst result of the campaign so far. It's actually because he got some sort of grid penalty, because you can see he's currently on pole, but he will in fact be starting in 6th place, as I'll see in a second. But we're going to hand over to the commentators now, who are going to set the scene in Texas.
Welcome to Texas, where we've had approximately 120,000 race fans through the gates to attend this year's US Grand Prix. They're excited, we're excited. I hope you're excited too. Unless you've been living under a rock, you might have seen reports of Nico Rosberg claiming he's going to win this weekend's race. But he was so confident he was claiming victory long before we arrived. Securing pole position for today's race, though, means he's very likely to be following up on those bold claims.
His work isn't done yet. He still needs to take the advantage of being on pole and turn it into a race win. As long as he has no mechanical issues and can stay out of trouble in that first corner, he could make this the perfect weekend.
Daniel Ricciardo has been Red Bull's dominant force in qualifying this season. He's out-qualified his teammate in the majority of the Grand Prix we've had so far this year.
The Aussie looks really at home in that Red Bull, and he's certainly getting the most out of the car from the team's pairing.
So here we are then before the race, and after the fantastic results we've seen from the second strategy, I decided to go for that one again. So we are on the slower tyre to begin with. Don't forget that we'll be going on to the quicker tyre later on. But the lights are about to go out in Texas, and we are go, 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 in the words of Murray Walker. But starting in 8th place, we straight away drop down the position, as we always seem to do because of the lack of speed. However, we take this corner beautifully, hugging the inside line. There's little scraps between cars going on the right hand side, and within one corner we've climbed up 4 places from 8th all the way up into 4th. We could even say from 9th because we dropped back a position technically before the corner, but that is an absolutely awesome start. Bearing in mind, like I've just said again, we are on the slower tyre now, so our pace should be a lot worse now and should get better as the race goes on. But we're behind Kimi Räikkönen, who's currently in 3rd place. You've got Nico Rosberg on pole still, I believe, in 1st. I'm not quite sure who's in 2nd. It may be one of the Williams. I'm not entirely sure. It could be another Ferrari, actually. I can't tell from here. Like I say, we get the small preview screen when we're editing. But, like I say, absolutely amazing start. However, Lewis Hamilton, didn't take him long, did it? He got pushed back to 6th. I'm not sure what for, because it said he was on pole on the thing, but then in the race, as you saw, he started in 6th. It didn't take him long at all. comes flying past us. He didn't really do that either, really. He came down the inside, just took the corner better and then had the pace to carry it through. And then Valtteri Bottas also sneaks past us on the straight. We think about making a move down the inside, but it just wasn't viable, so we end up behind Hamilton and Bottas and straight back down into 6th. We just cannot handle the pace on that straight, like I mentioned before. There's only one major one on the track, but that one is a bit of a beast and it is a killer for us. But as always, I'll be showing the entire first lap. I always like to show the first lap so you can see how things have panned out, if there's any sort of big changes in positions. Like I said, we did jump up 4 places and we're still technically, even though we've just been passed by Hamilton and Bottas, still 2 up from where we started. And remember, once again, on the slower tyre, so hopefully we'll be able to keep in touch, sort of, with the cars ahead of us who run a bit wide there, and have a fantastic finish and maybe get into the podium positions. But there is carnage yet to come in this race. There's incidents, there's just craziness all through. But you can see we're jumping to lap 3 now. We held these lot off for a lap. We managed to keep the gap nice and sort of above a second, but then the DRS gets switched on at lap 3, as you all know. They come cruising past Grosjean and Massa. Massa, of course, a person that a driver, sorry, that he's a person as well. I don't know why I corrected myself there. A driver that is competing with us in the championship for that 6th place finish. They both came past us. We ended up taking Massa, but we couldn't quite get to Grosjean. The pace is just too much. But then this is the first incident of the race that is just mad. You can see Lewis Hamilton is facing pretty much the wrong way. We come round this corner, a couple of cars there scrapping. We end up going all the way up into 4th place. We'll see it again now in slow motion. You can see you've got Hamilton on the right facing the wrong way. And then, is it Raikkonen? Raikkonen and Bottas, massive incident on the left-hand side. And then we also managed to squeeze past Grosjean as well. I don't really know what happened there, but it was absolute chaos. And it meant that we were back into 4th place on the slower tyre, once again indicating that we could have an amazing result here if we keep this pace up, which is just great to see. But we'll jump forward to lap 4 now. You can see who's behind us. It's Bottas, the Williams. He's just got the pace over us. We can't do anything about it. He flies past us. I think about going back across to get the inside, but because he was just too close, he wasn't fully past us, ended up squirming over to the right. Not able to get across, unfortunately, and he remained ahead. But jumping forward to lap 6, this time it is Daniel Ricciardo, another driver that's fighting with us for that 6th place spot. And you'll also see Max Verstappen come flying past as well. Again, the pace is too much. Massa again, look at that pace from the Williams, it's crazy. Cannot defend for nothing. Back into 8th place, but we will take 1 position back. It will be off the Williams of Massa, and we'll sneak back up into 7th. And again, I'm saying it a lot here, but we're on the slower tyre. This is fantastic stuff to see. This is actually the lap that we're pitting on as well. And you'll notice we're only on lap 5. And you'll think to yourself, you're pitting now, options for another, what is it, 8 laps? That seems a bit, You see, we're pitting. Nothing seems wrong at this point. Everything's going fine. We've dropped back into 10th place, of course, because we're on the pits and people are on different strategies to us. We are on pit strategy 2, meaning we've had the quicker tyre to go on with for the end of the race. We come out the pits, tells us to go. We drop back into 14th place. That's all fine now because everyone else has still got to pit. It's still looking good. Then, disaster. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if I didn't look after the tyres, but we've got one more stop to do on the strategy. So we had to do another pit stop on the strategy, which has absolutely killed our chances of what looked like getting an amazing result. But everyone else is pitting in now, as you can see. We're absolutely going hell for leather now. We've got to go really quick to make this strategy work. Absolutely get the most out of the tyres, out the car. Everything has got to be going perfectly. We're back up into 9th place now. We have got massive pace advantage now over Bottas and the car ahead of him. I can't tell who it is because our tyres are warmed up there, so nice and fresh because I've just come out the pits, obviously. But it's Verstappen and Bottas. We fly past Bottas, a little bit of contact, but nothing major, nothing really happened there, to be honest. Both of us still managed to come out with it okay. And then Verstappen, we have to go a little bit wide there to get the run around him because he was just going that bloody slow and holding us up. We fly past, like I say, all the way up into 7th place, which is still not bad. And 5th now. Sorry, we jump forward to 5th because there's another few cars that are pitted in. Bottas managed to get back past us, but we fought back. Me and him seem to have similar race pace around here, and all the way back up into 4th place. And at this point, this is where we were technically when we pitted in, but no, we've held 4th place. We go into the pit stop, straight back down into 5th because Bottas was right behind us all the way. Like so, we had a similar pace. I've sped this one up. We come out all the way back in 11th place. It was an absolute killer. You can see when we come out behind. So I always go to say Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is a footballer that plays for Newcastle. Anyway, we get past him really quickly, no problem at all. We of course are on a super quick tyre now, the car's really light. We are probably at this point in time the fastest car on track. We're in 10th place, Hulkenberg is next up, and again you're about to see another mad incident. You can see he's quite some way ahead, nowhere near enough in the nowhere near close enough to be on DRS at this point. But he goes to take the corner And what the hell happens here? I think he has some sort of engine failure. He goes up in smoke, comes across the track. We have to swerve over to the left, but thankfully he did ghost. And he moved up to 9th place. But like I said, I've never seen that before. I can only assume he had some sort of engine blowout. We then close in so much on Massa because we had the lighter car, the quicker tyres, everything. We're running really wide at this point because we're just pushing it to the max. But we're unable to pass him, unfortunately. And we end up coming in 9th place in a race where if the strategy had just bloody worked, we could have had a podium there. It is really disappointing because in the end we've actually dropped back 1 place from where we qualified, because we qualified in 8th, I believe it was, dropped back 1, and that means Massa coming in 8th is going to gain some ground on us, and Daniel Ricciardo finished all the way up in 5th place, so he'll have gained a lot of ground on us as well. But like I said, we had such a chance there to get a good finish, but the strategy failed me. I don't know why it failed. Let me know if you know down in the comments down below. I can only assume that it was I didn't look after the tyres properly or something like that. But 9th place, the positives we can take is that it's still in the points, but unfortunately it just wasn't what it could have been. We do hold on to 6th place for now in the championship, but you can see it's super close. Massa just 4 points off us, and Daniel Ricciardo just 12 points off us. We have hit that 100 point mark for the championship season, which is awesome with Jenson Button. That's really nice achievement there, but it's just what it could have been in that race. It could have been so much better. Like I said before, if you did enjoy this one, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll speak to you all in the next video tomorrow, lads. Have a good one. Nidge out.
Maicon, ancora Pjanic, sta prendendo il rigore, Pjanic, tiro, gol!